We'll get started. We got some housekeeping and administrative stuff to go over before we really get into the content today. So welcome everyone for taking some time out of your day to join us. I know it's some interesting times, but still appreciate your eyes and ears for a few minutes. We're going to run about 20 minutes worth of content, and then we'll stay on as long as you need us to answer questions. Hopefully you'll pick something up. I think today's topic is, given the state of things, it's very timely. So if you have questions afterwards, I urge you to reach out to the Aloe Care team, which will send you their contact information later, or reach out to your contact within Affiliated's account management or dealer services group, and we'll put you right in contact with them so you can start having these conversations. So just a little background on where to get us started here. I'm here with our friends Ray and Evan, co-founders of Aloe Care Health. They're going to be taking you through some of their products. We've got a short demo video that they were kind enough to put together, and we'll have some small housekeeping from the Affiliated side. So let's get started.
Thanks, Chris.
So for those of you who aren't familiar or new to Affiliated, we're a leading third-party monitoring center. Our union headquarters, the largest monitoring center in the United States. We've been in business just over 43 years now. We've won multiple accolades from the TMA and other awards. And we also have 2 fully redundant and geographically independent monitoring centers, which of course is important in this day and age. The second one is in Houston, Texas. Here's just some of these awards, some shameless plugs for our awesome staff. We're not having any tours of the monitoring center right now for obvious reasons, but once this all gets cleared up, I encourage everyone to come and see us. Here's just another quick slide on what we monitor. Obviously, security and PERS. That's why, well, the PERS and connected health is why you're here. But we also, generally, anything with a connected sensor, we can monitor it. And here's a picture of our inside the monitoring center. Just some of our credentials here. Obviously, the HIPAA compliance here is what's going to be most important as we go through, the PERS and health content here today. It's a good picture of our monitoring center. Right now, people are much further spaced out than that. And everyone here that may have been registered for Catalyst, just a reminder that we have postponed it. It'll be postponed till May 2021. We're likely going to be in Orlando again, possibly at the same hotel. If you have not requested a refund yet, you may do so. We will give the full rate back, of course, or you can just roll your ticket over to next year at the same rate. So we're going to get into the content now. If you have questions, feel free to submit them as we go along, and we'll answer them later. And if you would like to receive more information, feel free to raise your hand or go in the chat, and we'll make sure that gets to the Aloe Care team right after. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Ray and Evan.
Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it. First of all, everyone, thank you so much. I hope you are staying safe and healthy during this unprecedented time we're in. I also want to thank you for taking time out of your day to really join the webinar and to learn more about Aloe Care Health. Chris, can you go to the next slide, please?
Yep.
I just want to give a very quick overview, and then we can jump right in. So Aloe Care Health was built on the foundation of safety in the home. But when you think of safety in the home, it can go beyond emergency response. And so when we think of safety, we want to expand upon that. So we think of it as communication. We think of safety as care coordination. We consider vital monitoring to be under safety, and also other preventative measures. So this is what we did, and we want to build a system around that and take this holistic approach. When it comes to caring, there is no one size fits all, but we want to be with you as part of that care life cycle, because your health for the person you're caring for can change overnight, it can change over time, And we didn't want you to have to go somewhere else when that happens. So that being said, why don't we jump right in? Chris, can you go next slide?
Hey, this is Evan. Thanks for everybody joining today. Before we jump into the demo, we wanted to just give a quick overview of what the product is. So there's 3 parts of the Aloe Care caregiving platform, and we really do view it as a platform. So there's 3 parts of it. The first one is the caregiver app, which is built for both professional and family caregivers, and we'll show you how that works. In the center, you'll see there's the hardware, and the hardware goes in the home of the older adult. The idea is it just fades into the background, doesn't change the way they live their life. It's there when they need it. It's not there when they don't want to think about it. So you'll see the thing that's featured in the center there, that is the Aloe Care Smart Hub. And that's really the center of the entire platform that the other sensors connect to. And we'll go through how that works. But in terms of thinking about how the sensors are packaged with the hub, so we're really offering 2 different flavors of our product right now. The first is, you can think of more of a premium bundle that includes our hub, 2 motion sensors, and 1 radio frequency fall sensor. And then we have a new version coming out that we're calling the Essentials version, which is a hub plus a pendant that runs on 4G. So this is truly plug and play, and we're launching this to really help people in the environment we're in today, where people can't enter the homes of their loved ones to set up new equipment necessarily. So we wanted to make it very simple to set things up. And then you can connect, over time, you can connect other sensors and remote patient monitoring devices. The third piece of the platform is the data that we're collecting. So we're getting data from all these devices 24 hours a day, and then using machine learning to bubble up actionable insights to the caregivers in the caregiver app. And that's really, all that together is the Aloe Care platform. So now, Ray, I think we can jump into the demo.
Great, Chris, can you go to the demo, please?
Yeah, we'll launch the, so we're gonna run a short video here. You can adjust the audio on your computer if you don't hear it right away.
Okay, so we're going to start with the hardware side of the Aloe Care system. So you'll see here there are 3 different pieces of hardware that we'll go through. The first one is the Aloe Care Smart Hub, and this is really the brains behind the operation. This hub includes Wi-Fi, it includes 4G, which can either be the main way of connecting to the internet or just a backup to the Wi-Fi. It includes Bluetooth, which is for future connections to remote patient monitoring devices. It has Zigbee to connect to other smart home devices, and RF to connect to a traditional PERS pendant if your customer would like to use a traditional pendant. It also includes a backup battery. You'll see in the front here, there are different sensors, and these capture motion, temperature, and air quality. And we're getting data from these sensors 24 hours a day. In the front, there's a mic array, and on top, there's a very loud and crisp speaker really tuned for older adults. This is used for voice interactions, and we'll show you how those voice interactions work when we do the app demo. There's also a night light on top, so this actually gets lighter or darker depending on the light in the room, or if you walk in front of the hub. On top, this is the button that you would press if you need help. You'll notice it doesn't say the word help or emergency, and that was based on feedback when we did our beta testing that no one wants something in their home that makes them feel less independent. Here you'll also see we have buttons, and these are for speed dial, and that really brings to light the communication aspect of Aloe Care, which is the biggest selling point to older adults. Safety is one thing, it's something everybody wants, but it's really the communication that makes the older adults accept this in their home. The second product is this radio frequency fall sensor. And we really think of this as voice first. This goes in the bathroom, and if you ever need help, you can use the same voice commands that you use with the hub. If you can't speak, then this will know that you fell based on using a radar chip. So it knows if you're standing, sitting, or on the ground, and it knows if you've fallen to the ground. It will ask you to confirm. If you can't confirm or you can't get up, then we go to the call center. The third product here, these are our activity sensors. These measure motion, temperature, and light. So we're taking in data from all these devices 24 hours a day, sending that data to our back end, and then using machine learning to look for anomalies. So we want to see if anything is out of the ordinary, and then let the caregivers know in the caregiver app. So now Ray will go through the caregiver app and show you how that works.
Thanks, Evan. So regarding the app, I'm going to start from the top down, and I'll give you some examples of how it works. So let's start with the very top where you see air quality and temperature. For example, temperature. So let's say mom's heater breaks and the temperature now is almost the same inside the house as it is outside the house. Well, obviously that's not very safe for mom, so we alert the family and let them know, but we also allow you to see here the temperature against other temperatures in the house itself. On the left-hand side, we also have air quality. And I'll give you an example of air quality where if someone, for instance, has a gas leak in the house, this would actually alert the family that there is a gas leak and we can address that right away versus letting mom be exposed to that gas and obviously potentially having some dangers occur because of that. The next thing is peace of mind, which everyone has been asking for. And so what we did here is we want to address that right away. So the most important thing was, is mom okay? And in this scenario here, you can see where it shows Mary was up and moving recently, and it even shows you when and where. So you can see here at the bedroom at 5:26 p.m. So that allows you to know that even though you didn't have time to call mom, you're able to actually see that she's okay and knowing that you can get in touch with her later on. The next thing here is system status. And this is really important because this is the lifeline in the home, our devices, and if for some reason one of them are not working or it needs to be reconnected, we immediately will know this and we will notify the family. And you can always click on here and see which devices are connected and which one for some reason isn't, and you can address that right away as well. This also allows you to know other environment changes in the home as well. So for example, if the power goes out in the house, our system will go into backup battery and we'll notify the family and they can contact mom and we can find out that obviously the power had gone out versus letting mom sit in the dark for a long period of time, which is obviously dangerous as well. I'll come back to emergency events in 1 second, but I want to talk about check-ins. Check-in is a really powerful tool that we found that a lot of families really enjoy using. So when you think of check-ins, the thing that everyone thinks of is obviously the best case is to go see mom, but if you can't go see her, the next best thing is to make a phone call. And so what we realized is that there is frustrations with the phone call, especially those caregivers that don't live near mom. And the frustrations can range from something as simple as mom forgot to charge her cell phone, or dad misplaced the phone and it's between the cushions on the couch, or someone in the house didn't hang up the house phone. So we didn't want to take away that option, but what we want to do is give an alternative. And this is where you can actually call directly into our hub by clicking here. So the best part about this is when we talk to the elders regarding having someone call through the hub, they love the idea for the fact that we said the only people that are going to call through this device is your family and professional caregivers that are taking care of you. You're not going to get a solicitation. You're not going to get any sort of unknown caller ID calling. It's actually just your family and that professional caregiver. Now, the other thing we realize is that unfortunately, incidents can occur. And if you're not there, and if you're in a situation where you do live a long distance away, we always ask people, what would you do to help? And majority of the people will say, I'll call 911. But what they don't realize is that 911 was built to help you where you are versus helping someone else at a different location. So what we did here is we built into the system where you can actually click on the emergency button. And what this does, this actually brings in our third-party call center. And that allows them to now take over the situation because as a caregiver, I will obviously end up panicking. I may not know what to do. And with the professional, they have their protocol. They take over the situation. And not only are they talking to me through the phone, but they're actually talking to my mom or Mary on the other end. And they're addressing the situation and they'll get her the help that she needs. Now, another thing we discovered is one of the most important things when it comes to caring for someone is information. And unfortunately, there tends to be one person taking on all the responsibility of caring And the main reason is because of lack of information being shared amongst family members. For example, if we have different versions of apps, this is a challenge when it comes to families who are texting, because one person uses one app, another person uses another app, so it's very difficult. So we brought it all into our platform here. And so, for example, I just got off the phone with Mary. I can easily type in a note here, or I could very quickly hit a canned message if I didn't have time to share, and I can send this message. And now what it has done here, it's not only shows you in the check-ins when I checked in and who checked in, but also for how long. And then if you want to go to the notes and see what someone had to say, you can click on the notes and get an update as to how mom or Mary is feeling. The last part down here is mobility. And this is really important too, because what we learned is that everyone has habits, and you can build machine learning around habits, and you can provide information to the family members when changes occur. But we also want to show passively how you can see how mom is doing. And so, for instance, if your mom has habits every day, such as mine, for example, my mom gets up every morning, goes to the bathroom, brushes her teeth, heads down to the kitchen, and then goes to the living room to have a cup of coffee and to read a book. And when that occurs, I can actually see the same flow here. So it gives me that feeling knowing that I know mom is up and about, I know she's doing a regular routine, and then once again, it gives me that peace of mind to know what's going on. Now, I'm going to jump back to the emergencies for a second, and I'm going to let Evan show you how an emergency works from the elder's perspective.
So if my mom needs help, she can say something as simple as, "It's an emergency. Help me, it's an emergency."
We think you asked for help. Do you need assistance?
Yes.
Connecting you to the Aloe Care response team. Please wait.
So as you can see here, what's happening right now is it's actually connecting to our
Connecting
call.
you to the Aloe Care
And
response team. Please wait.
when you click on, and now I'm going to show you an example of how it actually works from the elder's perspective. Evan, if you could please show that.
Sure. So if my mom wants to help herself and she is alone, she can say, "It's an emergency. Help me, it's an emergency."
We think you asked for help. Do you need assistance?
Yes.
So as you can see here,
Connecting you to the
we've
Aloe Care
actually now
response team.
sent the message out to all the family members so that everyone will receive a text message and a push notification. When you actually open that, this is what you'll see. Now, the one thing we realize is that during an emergency, everyone wants to get involved and wants to get onto that phone call. But the most important thing right now is to allow the emergency services deal directly with Mary to get her the help that she needs. So what we provided is a real-time feed where now you can see what is happening without actually talking to anyone, and it gives you that peace of mind once again. And then we also give options to actually call a friend or family in the meantime to send someone over there to find out what is going on. And we also have built-in messaging where you can actually go to the messages and text your family care circle and let them know that something has happened. If anyone does know, please go see how Mary is doing. So the other thing I wanted to show you is we have built in here what's called a health card. And with a health card it's important information regarding the elder. And this information is to be shared during the emergency situation. So it provides information from not only the location of where the event occurred, also the apartment if they live in an apartment building, even the room it occurred in. We also show how to get in the home. We even provide to the EMTs pre-existing conditions, allergies, medications, where to find them, and anything else regarding the household. And then the last part here I'll share with you very quickly is we show and have different levels of care givers. So we have professional caregivers, we have family caregivers, and then we also have friends that can get involved because everyone tends to have a neighbor that wants to help out. We also have the ability to collect medication so that if you need it, you can share information regarding the elder. And we also have the ability to connect other devices. So we can connect to vital monitoring devices such as glucose monitors, scales, blood pressure machines, and so on. And then we have in here built-in contacts so that you don't have to leave the app when an emergency occurs. All your contacts are here, and it provides all the information you need. And that pretty much covers the system itself. Thank you very much.
All right. So someone had raised their hand and said they were having audio issues or being able to hear that recording during the video. So we'll send out the recording of this entire webinar afterwards, and you shouldn't have an issue. We'll look into repairing that. But thank you for letting us know. Hey Ray, you're still muted there.
Hey, so I think we're on the care provider dashboard slide here.
Yeah.
So before we jump into questions, we just want to give a quick overview of our care provider dashboard. So one of the things that was really important to us was delivering tools to our partners, like everybody on this call here, to deliver better care and service to the people that you're taking care of and that you're selling your products to. So this is just a very high level of the dashboard that we would provide you. It's actually co-branded, so it would have your brand in there. And you can, at a very quick glance, look at who is online, if there's any connectivity issues with any of your customers, and also see any emergency alert notifications, so that if someone did have an issue and they asked for help, you would know in the dashboard. And you would also know about air quality alerts and temperature alerts and all of the sensor alerts that are built into the platform. So this is something that you get as part of working with Aloe Care. We're happy to answer any questions about this when we get into the Q&A. So I'll hand it off to Ray now to wrap it up, and then we can do questions.
Great, thanks. Yes, so once again, as we mentioned before, we've taken this holistic approach to caring. Part of our system also is continue to develop our platform and adding new product and services. So this allows you to have the opportunity to increase the relationship with your customer by providing them additional services. And obviously you'd be able to charge for those services as well. So we're open up for questions right now.
Cool. Thank you, Ray, and thank you, Evan. Let me move on to get your contact information up on the screen here. And again, if anyone wants to have a demo immediately, just raise your hand or let us know in the chat, and we'll make sure that the Aloe Care team can prioritize it. All right, let me go to Nick, because he had a bunch of questions here. So who can patients have set up for speed dial? The family members, and how many options are there?
Yeah, so right now it's set up to be family members. So it goes to one of the buttons, will send an alert out to all the caregivers in the care circle who are part of the app to say that the person in the demo's name was Martha, so it would say Martha asked for someone to check in with them. And then the other button can go to the primary caregiver. In the future, we can make it so that those buttons are going to specific people based on who either the caregivers or the older adult would want them to go to. And then we've also had some people request that one of the buttons is reserved to go to, if you're a dealer, a PERS dealer, it could go directly to you if there's any questions, if you wanted to have that type of direct connectivity with your customers. Great.
When calling the client's device, do they need to answer, or does the device connect to a two-way voice automatically?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we set it up after doing extensive research with the elders as to how they wanted us to handle this. And what we found is that because the only time that device is going to ring, it's actually going to be a family member or someone that they have added as a professional, such as yourselves, to the list. They know they're not going to be solicited by anyone, so they wanted to auto answer. So we let it ring about 4 times before it answers. And that way now they know that they can talk to the family member. They don't even have to get off the couch or the chair, or if they're in another part of that room, they can just start talking.
Great. Thank you. Another one for Nick. We'll cover you here. How long does the battery backup last?
So the battery backup lasts about 6 hours, and we can very easily extend that based on how much data we are sending from the devices. So we can extend it beyond 6 hours if it's important to specific customers.
Great. Let's go to Bonnie. What happens if they do not respond? The elders do not respond, I assume is the question.
Yeah, so we have it set up as a default because it's better safe than sorry. So if for some reason they do not respond, we try to verify that. And then if not, that's when affiliated is notified, and then they will take the action necessary to get the help that you may potentially need.
Cool. From Dennis, does the client have to be in the bathroom near the radar chip panel to be able to call out for help?
No, actually, so both the fall sensor and the hub have voice interactions. So in a typical older adult's home that's maybe 1 or 2 bedrooms, we've really sized the bundle to take care of that size home. So you can be pretty far away from the hub or the fall sensor and still be able to ask for help if you need it.
Cool. And I guess in conjunction with that, are all the components wireless, including the activity sensors?
Yes, they're all wireless. The one device that does need plugged in power is the fall sensor, and obviously the hub needs power, but it does have the battery backup.
Great. And with the fall sensors, we just got one in from Mark. Can you add additional fall detection panels to the package?
Yes, you can. So today we recommend that you put the first fall detection device in the bathroom, which is where more than 80% of falls happen. But ultimately, you can add more if you would like. If you want to add one to the master bedroom or maybe somewhere else in the home, that's something that we can add in the future.
Great. Since we have a lot of questions on this, I'll combine them. Thanks, John. How do you order and how is it installed?
Yeah, so in terms of how it's ordered, there's a few different ways to do it. One, through many of our dealer partners, they're doing the ordering on their side and then install it themselves. There's also a way to we've built our platform to be totally co-branded. So there's a website address that you can give to prospective customers. They can go to that site. It'll be co-branded with your brand, and then the order can be placed online. And we can either ship it from Aloe Care, or it could be a delivery from you as the dealer. In terms of install, I mentioned before there's 2 different versions of the product. One is the more premium version with all the sensors, and that does need either a caregiver, or if you, as part of the services you provide as a dealer, if you can install it, that's fantastic. But that does need someone who has some level of ability to set it up, although it is quite easy. And then the Essentials bundle, which we're launching in June, is truly plug and play. So it doesn't need any setup beyond plugging it in. The 4G SIM card activates itself, and the entire service just works.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, for more specific information on pricing and installations, I would reach out directly following this webinar. Nick, are remote patient monitoring devices working with this now? For example, blood pressure, weight scale, etc.
So we're working on those integrations right now. We have a few major partners who have requested exactly what you're asking for. So scales, blood pressure, and there's a few others that we're launching as well. So we expect those to be ready to go in the coming months.
Neat. Along the same integrations, can this work with Alexa so you can extend voice to other parts of the home?
Yeah, that's definitely, it's something we're looking at doing. We didn't originally include Alexa on our hub because when we first started testing this, we did get some pushback from older adults who didn't want Alexa in their home. And then we also wanted to control how easy the interactivity is for the wake words. So we didn't have to say, Alexa, activate Aloe Care, I need help. It's a lot for people to remember. But yes, ultimately we can build a skill that then taps into our APIs and then can initiate the same types of emergency services that we can do through our hub. So it's definitely on the roadmap.
Great, thank you. Since this would be considered a stationary device, would the pendant allow for two-way communication if the client's roaming throughout the home?
That's a good question. Today, we do not do that, but we've really tuned the mics on the devices so that you can talk and communicate from relatively far away.
Great. So do dealers and end users need to worry about the 3G sunset at all? Cellular sunset?
Sorry, you cut out. Can you say that one more time?
Sure. Do dealers need to be concerned about the 3G cellular sunset?
Yeah, actually, we've talked to the carriers, and with them not supporting that, some actually stopped already, and there are a couple others over the next, I think, 12 to 18 months that will stop supporting 3G. Our system runs on 4G, so we obviously are helping our partners replace those units with ours, and then obviously being able to add additional services, it allows them to upsell the customer as well.
Great. That's a big cost saver that, we're actually planning to talk a lot about it at Catalyst this year. So we'll do some more content around that. Is fall detection monitored by the pendant as well as the radar panel?
It's not today, but it's definitely something we can integrate if that's important to anyone out there. So that's the great thing about what we've built is we're able to integrate different types of pendants, different types of sensors, and we control the technology. The entire thing is our platform. So very open to feedback from everybody in the audience.
Great. We have a few questions left, so if anyone else has some more, send them in now. We'll keep going. Haley, let me know if I'm not translating this correctly. Is there any insurance coverage for this device? What service provider does this system use?
Yeah, so on the insurance front, we're actually working with a couple different providers now, more on the Medicare Advantage side. There's nothing to announce yet, but we're excited to announce something hopefully in the near future, and we'll definitely keep everybody posted on that. And then in terms of the service provider, I'm assuming you mean the cellular service provider. So I'll answer that question. So we use AT&T as our primary provider, but we can also use T-Mobile, and we're looking at using Verizon as well.
Great. We just got a barrage of a couple additional questions here. How many caregivers can be invited to the care circle? You might have hit this one.
That is actually unlimited.
Unlimited, great. Just to clarify, I mean, you covered it a little earlier, but what pendants does this system work with?
So we're integrating with all the major pendants for PERS devices. So again, if there's a specific pendant you would want us to integrate with, we can do it. So we'd love feedback on that. If there's specific pendants that people in the audience would like to see us integrate with, we're happy to do it.
Great. On the business model, do you rent these devices to dealers or are they purchased?
Yeah, so right now it's mostly a purchase model, but it's early days in terms of getting feedback from dealers like everybody in the audience now. So again, we're open to discussing different models, but today it's purchased.
Great. Few more, and everyone that requested demos and pricing and stuff, we'll have the team reach out to you after. Is this ready for use in Canada?
Not at the moment, but that's also on our roadmap. If there's a big enough need out there, we can also speed up that process too.
Great. This is getting technical here, but we're gonna keep going. What component monitors fall detection? The activity sensors or the radar chip panel?
It's the radar chip fall sensor, but we are looking at, so that detects falls, but we're looking at movement data from all of the sensors. And if we see an anomaly, then we think something may have gone wrong, and we can alert the caregivers to check in on mom or dad to make sure they're okay.
Great. Just to clarify, does one fall sensor only cover one room?
Yeah, so today the fall sensor is tuned for one room, and you actually train it to know the room. Specifically for the bathroom, you train it to know where the toilet is, where the shower is, so it gets really smart about the activity in that room. Radar sensors can see through walls, but the downside of that is you would end up having a lot more false alarms. So we're very focused on minimizing those by having it trained just to one room.
Great. How can you help us get more older adults to choose the service, especially those who do not wear alert buttons 24/7? I assume that's in relation to marketing materials and sales support and things like that.
Yeah, so we definitely have marketing materials to help with that. I think one of the big things that was a feature for the elders that they really enjoyed was the communication tool, where we can literally check in on them. They can start a conversation with family members. We've been seeing on our check-ins conversations going north of 15 minutes, which is amazing. That means they're starting to use that as a main way of talking to the elders. And on the flip side, the elders can actually push the button to communicate with the family members that'll send out a message to a specific member or all the members and let them know that they want to talk. And obviously, as soon as we get that, we can reach out to mom. So we have the materials, and then we also can talk offline if people want to about more positioning of how the elders would love to have this in their home based on our experience.
Great. Will this, hey Dennis, yeah, this will, we're gonna clean it up and edit the presentation for audio and stuff. It'll probably get sent out tomorrow morning. That way you can reference it. There's nothing new coming in, so I just want to thank everyone again for joining us. You know, we went way over our normal webinars, so I know it wasn't me keeping you guys interested. So thank you, Evan and Ray, for you know, helping us put this on and answering some of these tough questions. We'll hang out for another minute or two, but if you guys want to close or say anything, we got a bunch of people on the call still.
No, we just want to thank everybody for being part of the webinar today. And again, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us, and we'd be happy to do a deeper dive and do a demo, you know, for you personally as well. Really appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you, Evan. And thank you again for everyone joining. I'm not gonna close it out because there's some people still requesting demos. And other than that, everyone enjoy their day. And if there's anything we can do to help, feel free to reach out.